Treyarch just changed these 80 things in Black Ops 6 Zombies for the Season 1 update. Let's break all of them down in this video. For Terminus, addressed an issue where diffuse progress was sometimes not saved if the player stopped diffusing during the Apocalypse Protocol main quest step. Addressed an issue where entering a Casimir after completing the main quest would teleport the player to the boss arena and down them. Address an issue where loading into a saved game after unlocking the Pack-a-Punch machine could cause some doors to have inconsistent collision. Address an issue during the main quest where connecting both node connectors at the same time would cause overlapping voice lines, and change the location of the ammo cache on the seaside path. For Liberty Falls, updated the first Mangler whose arm is blown off to always drop a Mangler cannon instead of only the first Mangler that spawns, and resolved an issue where the Blanchard would not be present during some dialogue. Okay, so for other weapon adjustments here, there's a lot of changes for Zombies weapons. They go through a quick description of what they did. So it says the recent changes to assault rifles in Zombies were an unintended carryover from a global weapon tuning pass. Interesting. We do not intend to inherit all MP weapon tuning without looking at how it affects Zombies tuning as well, which makes complete sense, right? What they're doing for MP damage numbers and all that stuff just shouldn't be the same for Zombies. It's inherently two separate game modes. So they of course corrected any updates, nerfs, or buffs that were made previously, and they're also making another pass as well on increasing the damage performance of all assault rifles. It seems like in Zombies, all ARs have had their Pack-a-Punch base damage and overall critical damage increased. That's a pretty big change. While you may see the word decreased in a few places, the performance of those weapons are still increased overall. So I love what they're saying here. They're kind of saying what we talked about in a previous video, like, look, we're fighting zombies, you know, we want to make sure our weapons aren't too overpowered because then it just becomes way too easy. But at the end of the day, we would rather, you know, bring all of the weapons up and make everything kind of fun to use and viable in the mode, as opposed to constantly nerfing things that are somewhat good. For MP, maybe it makes a bit more sense. You don't want all weapons to be meta weapons, or maybe you do want all weapons to be meta weapons, so there's actually variety. I'm not so sure, but I think especially for Zombies, it just makes more sense to not nerf as much, and it seems like what they're saying here is, yeah, you know, you're going to see decreased a little bit for certain indicators, but overall, the weapons are going to be a lot better, which is pretty good. Now, additionally, the HE1 launcher has gotten a buff to become more useful at stopping hordes of zombies, and when Pack-a-Punch, it will now have more stock ammo and a larger explosion with more overall damage, which is pretty cool. So for the assault rifle adjustments in Zombies, I'm not going to read through every single number, but as you'll see, pre-patch, these are the numbers. Post-patch, all increased their damage, bullet damage, critical multiplier, critical damage. AK-74, same as well, increased across the board, or the critical multiplier is still the same, but still pretty much increased there. AS-Val, increased damage, okay. Model L, increased. XM4, same thing. GPR-91, same thing as well. Launcher again, AT1, overall increased damage. For certain bug fixes, address an issue where camos were not being applied to zombie builds. Close an exploit that allowed players to have 3 weapons. Interesting. Address an issue where wall by rarity would reset when loading into a save. And address an issue where yellow damage numbers would appear when hitting a critical spot with a ray gun. For perk updates, Quick Revive, Dying Wish Augment. Address an issue where Dying Wish could activate when diving from large heights while protected from fall damage. Okay. Elemental Pop, just an issue where Elemental Pop would prevent normal ammo mod activations. Juggernog, Turtle Shell Augment. Turtle Shell will now apply damage mitigation when being grabbed by an amalgam. Okay. And PhD Flopper, just an issue where diving onto an elevated or inclined surface, such as stairs or up a hill, would not activate the perk. Of course, that should count, right, for PhD Flopper, so that's a good change as well, or a good bug fix. Gobblegums, just an issue that prevented players revived by near-death experience from keeping all their perks. That's important. Skill upgrades, adjust the description for the energy mine to no longer say it deals electrical damage to accurately reflect the damage type. increased dark flare damage from 25% to 40% of the base zombie max health per tick, and addressed an issue where an extra charge on-field upgrades would be lost when loading a save. For support fixes, addressed an issue that could cause the mutant injection to end early when near water, just an issue that allowed the player to pick up a sentry turret while using mutant injection, and reduced self-damage from the LDBR. For a save and load update, close an exploit that allowed keeping a save file after it had already been loaded. Enemies address an issue where zombies charmed by brain rot could prevent the player from completing an exfil. Address an issue where loading a save would disable the rampage inducer if it was active. Address an issue where zombies would throw guts at the end camera if the player leaves the match to end the game. For Terminus, address an issue where rarely the round would not end after killing all zombies. Okay. Just an issue where the amalgam could grab the player while slowed. Address an issue where the amalgam could pull players into walls, causing them to get stuck. Address an issue where diving while being hit by a knockback from Patient 13 could push the player further than intended. And Liberty Falls, just an issue that prevented the Abomination from spawning inside Fuller's Liberty lanes, and just an issue where the Abomination could fire off a beam attack before leaving a spawn closet. For activities, address an issue that would prevent one elite from spawning consistently during exfil from rounds 16 onward. Updated SAM trials that require the player to not take damage to display a progress bar instead of a timer. And Terminus address an issue where players would be able to use equipment, score streaks, and fire weapons during the Boat Race Awards sequence. XP earn rates address an issue where XP was being awarded to all weapons being used in an assist instead of just the last one. If 2 weapons were used in an assist, only the last one used by the player getting the assist will be awarded the XP. So a little bit of a nerf there, but that makes sense. Challenges, just an issue where wall buys would not progress the Prestige 8 challenge, Value Town. Just an issue where Legendary Gobblegums would progress the Ultra Prestige 8 challenge full power instead of Ultra Gobblegums. Just an issue where the Liberated challenge could be completed by saving and quitting before starting the final encounter. Just an issue that would complete the social distancing and invincible challenges by joining a game in progress. Just an issue that would complete the Harbinger of Doom challenge when loading into a saved game and using a score streak. Just an issue where the Prestige 5 challenge, Fire and Forget, would mention needing a bombing run medal instead of a lethality medal. Just an issue where the player would not complete Outrageous challenge until round 15 or until round 16 instead of round 15. Just an issue where loading a save past round 25 would complete the Sticks and Stones challenge. Just an issue where the Dark Journey challenge could show as not complete when unlocking Nebula on 33 weapons and being awarded the calling card. AFK detection, we have updated the detection logic to determine if a player is AFK during an active match. This should reduce the amount of false positive AFK kicks in zombies and added AFK kick warning UI to zombies. For UI, updated visuals on all Gobblegums to improve readability. That's pretty important. Just an issue where the boat UI would overlap with the map with the central command HUD preset. Just an issue where the drop node connector prompt during the Terminus main quest would overlap with the map with the central command HUD preset. Just an issue where the round number would initially be displayed incorrectly when loading a save. Just an issue where the weapon stats on the AAR after action report, of course, would show the loadout player started with instead of the loadout they ended with. Just an issue where some items would show the wrong text on the TAC map when pinged. Removed multiplayer information from melee weapon descriptions. Added a highest round icon to the after action report when reaching a new personal highest round. That's pretty cool. Added a timer to the scoreboard. Added a notification when picking up intel. So cool changes there. For graphics, just an issue on PS4 where some effects would stop rendering at higher rounds. Just an issue where some effects for the mutant injection were not working when sprinting. Just an issue where the character effects from Brutus would be present during mutant injection. Liberty Falls, just an issue where some damaged vehicles would not have smoke effects. Stability, finally, just an issue where the game could crash when attempting to start a solo match after playing in split screen. Just an issue where sometimes the player would be unable to save and quit with the error "this game failed to save for unknown reasons, try again later," and added numerous stability fixes. So major updates there, a lot of big stuff for zombies, a lot of UI changes, XP changes, weapon changes, important bug fixes that did get fixed as well. Around 80 changes there for Season 1. Of course, Season 1 Reloaded will be the actual content update with a new round-based map, new perks, all that good stuff. We'll be sure to break it down on this channel. Subscribe for more. Shout out to the members. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.